Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In this video today, we are talking about the new patch that EA have dropped today. It's gone live now. I'm going to talk about what I expect from the patch, how I think it will look, and then I will be testing it later live on my Twitch, Zelonius92. So make sure if you don't already follow me on Twitch to check that out. Now, EA have put a few patches out since the game came out. There was one huge patch, that was the one where suddenly pace seemed crazy again. That was one of the most game-changing patches I think I've ever seen on FIFA. And the thing about that patch was, it didn't on paper really look like a huge change. So, I don't really fully know what to expect with these, but we're going to go into the patch notes, read it in depth, and see if there's anything we can spot. And then obviously, I will do a video in a few days, maybe early next week, talking about the new patch and my thoughts on it, and obviously updated custom tactics, updated player lists and stuff if that is needed for this. So, we don't really care about anything other than the gameplay. Now, these are two, like, on paper, if it does what it says, this should change the game a fair bit, at least the meta at a high level. Honestly, in the lower divisions, and let me know in the comments, do you even know about these passes? A driven lobbed through pass. Now to do that, you have to press L1 plus R1 and triangle. Everyone pretty much knows about L1 triangle passes, just chip through balls. But the ones that have been really OP on this game are the L1 R1 triangle through balls, in particular the first time ones. Now this here says, decrease the accuracy of driven lob through passes aimed away from where the passer is facing. Now, they should have just made it for first time ones, in my opinion. That made it a bit simpler. But the thing about these through balls is, and I've shown them in a few videos, people pass to a guy, they trigger a run, they pass to someone else, and then when they pass to that guy, they, with their back to the player they're going to pass to, do a first time driven lob through pass over the top. And it's just perfect accuracy, very hard, almost impossible to defend at times. And it's just stupidly OP. In the Elite Division, I'm like in the top few hundred players in the world in that. Nearly everyone I play just spams these. I don't really use them too much. I've got a little bit better at them, but I don't use them too much. It's not even an excuse here. One of the things that's maybe held me back a little bit in the last few years is that I don't like to abuse the OP stuff on the game. I do use some of it. I'm not going to just sit here and say I'm like some football purist, but I struggle to like get my mind to process, like to do things that to me just seem dumb and anti-football, whereas some people are just very good at doing that on the game. But if this is nerfed and actually does what it says, this will help me quite a bit because I don't really use them, whereas a lot of people at the high levels do. I coach people all the way from people in Division 1 Elite Division all the way down to people like Div 7, Div 8. I mean, even people completely new to the game. And the lower down I go in the coaching, I don't tend to see too many people doing these first-time passes. So I don't think it'll affect the meta drastically at a lower level. But at a higher level, if this nerf actually is doing what it says on paper, it could be quite a change for the game and the meta at a higher level. And honestly, that would be good for me. I'm going to be releasing some custom tactics tonight using the 4-3-3 bracket 5 variation. That's the one with the centre forward. Honestly, that formation might be the best attacking formation I've seen all FIFA. I'm loving it. I've won 10 out of my 11 last games in the Elite Division, and it doesn't even really use these type of through balls, and it's still OP in attack. So that could be made even better on this patch. Whereas a formation like the 4-3-2-1, one of the reasons it excels so good is that it has 3 strikers to run in on behind, and these passes are really good for them. So that formation in particular might not be quite as good on this patch if this does what it says. Also says lowered the ball trajectory height of driven lob through passes. Now, chip through balls, as long as you don't do them with someone right next to you, go so high in the air that no one really can intercept them by jumping up and heading it. Whereas these ones are a little bit lower, and sometimes people can kind of jump in the way and get them. But if they're lowering them even more, then it might be that these get intercepted a lot more. Like I say, this is all conjecture. Like, I don't know until I've tried it out. But when these patch notes come out, I like to talk about them, say what I think it's going to do for the game. And then, like I say, we'll do another video where we're like, okay, this is actually what's happening with it. For me, one of the reasons these are so OP is that chip through balls are good, but the problem with them is that they sometimes just stay so long in the end, take so long to come down, that even if they've got you in behind, you can't get in behind because your player struggles to bring the ball under control, struggles to get it down, the ball bounces and you just can't get it under. When that happens, defenders can catch it. Whereas with these driven lobbed through passes, the L1, R1 triangles, the thing about that is that it's low enough that it normally still, it's high enough that it beats the defender, but low enough that it comes down quicker and attackers run in and they get it on goal. So if this does what it says, then it should change the meta at a high level. The problem with these is it doesn't really just decrease the accuracy. What does that mean? Did they decrease it by 0.0000001%? That's nothing. That's still a decrease there. Or did they decrease it like 100%? Like, these patch notes are not good enough from EA, and there need to be so much more info in them, because otherwise it's just guesswork and you just go into games and you're just guessing based on how you feel about it, really. So it does wind me up a bit. Like, I just think like these patch notes need to be so much more detailed to stop us just having to guess what they're doing. Okay, now this is where one of the huge changes came in before. It wasn't what you call it, like one of these. It was one of just a bug type change that fixed the explosive controlled pace types. In some cases, the ball carrier could unintentionally run over the ball when attempting to dribble with it. I have seen that a few times. It doesn't happen a lot, but it was annoying when it did. In certain situations, the goalkeeper did not react to ground passes across the goal. Now, this is a really annoying one. It didn't seem as bad on the patch that we've just been playing. I felt like cutbacks almost got nerfed because the movement on players just didn't seem as good in general. But this was needed, really. People would get into cutback positions, pass it literally across the box. I'm not exaggerating. Literally could be next to the keeper, like that close, like a millimetre from him, and he would just not react and just leave it. And the only way it would ever save it normally was if he occasionally got very lucky, or it just hit him. Whereas now, if again it does, like with all these patches, I always have to say if it does what it says, because sometimes they say stuff and it doesn't seem to do it quite as much as you expect. Sometimes they might change something that has an indirect effect or knock-on effect on something else. Sometimes this should somewhat nerf cutbacks though, make them not quite as OP. One thing I'm not liking though is that they're nerfing all the attacking things, and yes, they should nerf OP attacking things, but they're not nerfing anything defensively, so it kind of makes the game a bit more, I don't know, defense oriented. To be honest, right now there's a lot of goals, to be fair, so I guess it didn't feel too defensive. Sometimes a touch during a dribble could knock the ball further from the ball carrier than intended. Yep, that's really annoying. Hopefully that works now. In some cases, appropriately powered through passes could incorrectly cause the ball to be hit out of play. Not really seeing that, but okay. AI teammates could lunge for a ball that was far away from them, even when the pass blocking system setting was off. In some situations, defender could incorrectly attempt to shield the ball without being requested to do so. Okay. When requesting an outside the foot shot, in some situations, a flare shot could have occurred. Yep, I've seen that. It's annoying. When requesting a flare pass while locked to one player, the CPU AI would not attempt to perform a flare pass. Fair enough. Not really noticed that. In rare throwing situations where an additional ball was present on the pitch, needed to be cleared, the player kicking the ball could have done with it with unnecessary power. Don't think I've seen that. Sometimes these bugs are like 1 in a million, sometimes they happen every game. Now, this is what we came for. The assistant referee starting position was not always correct at the start of a playable highlight. Thank God they're fixing that. In some cases, the goalkeeper could have incorrectly been allowed to pick up the ball with their hands after a player-controlled teammate cleared the ball towards them. I've seen that before. Improved referee logic when determining foul calls in situations where a player makes contact with the keeper. Needed. I just worried, does this go the other way and they just give pens for everything? During set-piece skill games, the camera would not always correctly orientate itself behind the kick taker. I mean, it doesn't orientate itself in normal games behind the kick taker for set pieces, so yeah, I mean, nothing else I'm too bothered at looking at, but honestly, as always, the patch notes, generally speaking, do sound good, but will they actually be good in game? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm going to be testing them out today. On paper, though, this should nerf formations and playstyles built purely around the first-time through balls. It shouldn't make too big a change to the game other than that, though, from what they've said, but I need to try and have a look. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Make sure you are subscribed with notification bells on so you can see my videos when they go live. My custom tactics, that honestly could be the best custom tactics I've used all FIFA in terms of attacking, are going live later tonight. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the support. Keep it spicy. See you guys later. Peace.